The new board members overseeing Disney's special district are preparing for a legal fight. They say the company reached an agreement before they took over that essentially strips them of their main responsibility. The governor and the legislature targeted the special district last year after the company denounced a controversial bill. Lawmakers voted to dissolve the Reedy Creek Special Improvement District. However, they later decided to change the name and give the governor the power to appoint the board members. Channel 9's Nick Papantonis is live at the district office this afternoon. And Nick, you just heard from the governor's office about its reaction.
The governor's office staff members told me they had no idea this agreement was in effect until just a short time ago. They obviously think it's illegal and void, but it does explain why Disney surprised everyone at the time and said they'd accept the new power structure.
Disney has some magic kingdom. They thought they could be king for a day.
Outrage from Reedy Creek's newly appointed board after lawyers told them Disney had been handed control over the area's development as the old board walked out the door.
This development agreement essentially strips the government of the government powers and give those powers to Disney, which is, obviously in our view an overreach.
According to board members, the agreement gives Disney maximum development rights allowed by law and effectively gives the company veto power over any changes made within the taxing district. A key sentence reading, "Master developer is the master developer."
This board loses, for practical purposes, the majority of its ability to do anything beyond maintain the roads and maintain basic infrastructure.
Board members will hire as many as 4 law firms to analyze the agreements, try to unwind them, and possibly take the fight to the Supreme Court. But they hope Disney will compromise first. The company is showing no signs of that, saying in a statement, "All agreements signed between Disney and the district were appropriate and were discussed and approved in open, noticed public forums in compliance with Florida's Government in the Sunshine Law."
They have no legal effect and therefore shouldn't even be terminated because they don't exist.
So I spoke to an independent attorney who specializes in this sort of thing and asked that person, is this agreement legal? Their opinion coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Live in Lake Buena Vista, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.